New gold rush in sub-Saharan Africa. A gold rush that attracts many immigrants. The number of illegal wildcat gold mines is exploding, and Mali is becoming the place to go to buy gold in the Sahel. The government can't contain the gold rush, and armed groups want a slice of the pie.
On a des Soudanais, on a des Érythréens, vous avez, je sais pas, des Nigériens, des Burkinabés. Toutes les nationalités viennent. Parce que pour nous, en islam, on dit que tout ce qui est dans le sous-sol appartient à tout le monde.
These nuggets arriving at the counters of Bamako come from sub-Saharan Africa. They are mixed together and melted down in refineries, which operate discreetly under the roof of the city's central market. This makes it impossible to determine the gold's origin. Most of these ingots will be sent to the United Arab Emirates.
Dubaï importe de l'or avec une simple facture, une facture commerciale, et il entre à Dubaï, il déclare, il paye $9 américains flat fee à la douane, et il est à Dubaï. So, c'est où le vrai scandale, ici ou là-bas?
The Emirates refineries whitewash this dirty gold that comes from conflict zones, illegal mines from the Sahel to Dubai. Our investigation sheds light on how the world's gold market is evolving. Our report begins in South Africa, where the hunt is on for illegal gold miners. Elite specialized units regularly raid rudimentary, unauthorized mines.
Yeah? Yeah, they are struggling. So there's no work. That's why they're doing this.
The work is illegal, but highly sought after. Gold is the best way to finance criminal activities. Its price rises, it can be transported and sold anywhere. The nuggets of one country can be mixed with those of neighboring countries. For South Africans, there is no such thing as small-time trafficking.
We have what we call zamazama. So zamazama is an illegal miner. It's a Zulu word basically meaning to try your luck or to make something out of nothing. Now, even approaching this, we are not naive. We do understand that whether it be zamazamas or whether it be the more higher level criminal enterprises that are involved in the illegal gold trade, it has to be seen in the context of global terrorism, because naturally in different parts of the world, both terror organizations as well as transnational groups are utilizing this as a way of funding whatever criminal ventures they have in mind. It's not anywhere.
General Kadwa is the head of the Falcons and is a specialist in organized crime. South Africa has become a hub for the continent's gold trafficking. The General's forces regularly intercept large cargo shipments. To better understand how gold trafficking operates, we followed up on a story that broke in December 2020. A plane landed in Johannesburg. Customs officers discovered 73 kilograms of gold in the luggage of passengers bound for Dubai. The passengers had an invoice from the company Sky Gold, which is registered in Mali, the equivalent of 3 million euros of undeclared merchandise. The traffickers were arrested. This case is a real headache for the South African justice system. The suspects are Madagascar nationals. They were selling the gold in Dubai, but say they bought it in Mali and are using South Africa as a base. Which country did the loot come from? It's nearly impossible to determine the gold's origin. In an effort to find answers, we head to Bamako. Once in Mali's capital, we head to the city's central market, where the company Sky Gold listed its address on the invoice. But no one here knows of the company. Its phone line is disconnected. But the company does exist. We found its registration certificate. It was established in 2014 with a capital of 1 million CFA francs. A modest sum for the purchase of 2 billion CFA francs of gold. Sky Gold lists Amari Doe as its official building. We head there. It looks abandoned. But all buildings like this house a large number of small businesses. We have to make our way upstairs to find gold purchasing and sales companies. We have managed to negotiate access. Everyone is searched at the entrance, and Draman, who has worked here for over 10 years, is going to give us a tour of the property.
Voilà, quand un client vient ici, voilà, c'est ici maintenant la réception. On prend ça maintenant sur le bout de papier.
They receive small gold nuggets from all over the sub-Saharan region. This company makes purchases based on the weight and quality of the gold, the carats. The price varies, about 50 euros per gram. A small fortune in a country where the average salary is rarely more than 100 euros per month.
Tous les jours c'est comme ça, même le dimanche. Il y a une centaine de personnes qui viennent ici, mais elles viennent un peu partout au Mali. Au Mali quoi. Et puis à l'extérieur aussi, comme la Côte d'Ivoire, le Burkina, et puis la Guinée aussi.
We are told that gold from Mali is the most valuable because it is generally of a higher quality than that of neighboring countries.
Il y a 101 grammes, et puis il y a 617 aussi. Maintenant, il y a 200 et quelques comme ça. Mais après l'achat maintenant, on les rassemble et on fait comme ça. Mais ça, c'est en préparation maintenant pour la France.
Below the roofs of Bamako's central market are these smelting works. They could not operate without the approval of the military junta in power in Mali. The Bamako authorities can't control all of the country's mines, but they have retained a monopoly over the sale and exportation of the gold that passes through these businesses, and turn a blind eye to the origin of this precious metal. Once mixed together, the nuggets are melted down in makeshift ovens, and no one will be able to accurately determine the origin of this gold, which will be exported to the rest of the world. These smelting works mainly process wildcat gold, which is thought to represent more than half of Mali's exports. Despite the political and military crisis here, the gold trade is booming. The price of gold has reached record levels in the last 2 years. The coronavirus pandemic slightly slowed the movement of people and goods, but business has now resumed.
Bon, à Bamako, souvent ça vient. À Bamako, souvent ça vient. Ça vient parce que les gens en profitent de la situation souvent pour extraire de leur propre nourriture.
The smelter says that he produces between 80 and 100 kilograms of ingots per day, representing more than 5 million euros per day.
Après la fonte maintenant, on l'amène ici. Voilà, c'est lui qui va vérifier aussi. Voilà.
He says that he sends cargo loads abroad from Bamako airport every day.
Et cet or, tu vas où, Draman? L'or va où?
Bon, à Dubaï. On a ça à Dubaï.
A few years ago, African gold went to Switzerland or South Africa, but today it makes its way to Dubai. The figures are difficult to verify because the statistics on exports from African countries to Dubai don't align with the statistics of Emirati imports from the continent. For example, in 2019, Mali declared annual exports of 500 kilograms to Dubai, but the Emirates declared imports of 80 tons from Bamako that same year. The discrepancy is so high that Sky Gold's gold may well come from Mali. More than 350 legal mining sites are listed in Mali, but illegal wildcat production has exploded due to war. We have obtained these never-before-seen images of the mine in Intihaka, about 50 kilometers southwest of Gao. It is the largest gold panning site in northern Mali. For tens of kilometers, pickaxes and sieves raise thick clouds of dust. Battered by wind, the working conditions in this mine are appalling. As with other sites in the Sahel, several different nationalities are found here. Sudanese, Nigerians, Liberians, Ghanaians, Burkinabes, but also Libyans and Syrians. It is impossible to calculate the population of this region, but it is reported to surpass that of Gao, which is home to 120,000 inhabitants. This area is not under the Malian government's control. It is controlled by the Azawad movement, a group of armed Tuaregs who have demanded the independence of part of the country's northern region since 2012. But jihadist groups are also rampant in this area. The miners who agreed to speak with us explain that the local communities, which used to often be attacked or pillaged, feel safe enough now to work.
إلى السيموت يندي هذا كراد قاس واتي ورغنتيني وات الدينة الحمد لله هي أما رارق شمال التوساسي سبيتان أجروني ما الناس نقي من الزدغة أجرونا الخير ما الناس أما را أجروا الناس النورة وله دوادر تبدها الصحة نسا الصحة ندينة هكا وادم كولا وايو ورتي لو ادم قيمة وريج الروبيسة صناعة
Buyers come from all over, from the United Arab Emirates, but also, more recently, from Turkey or Russia. We went to meet with the armed groups who control Intihaka's gold mine, such as the movement based in Kidal, in the country's north. The delegation's leader was returning from a tour of over 3,000 kilometers of the country. He explained to us that the population in the north, who felt abandoned by the Sahelian governments, began mining for gold due to regional conflicts.
Et les États, les Fonds monétaires internationaux, la Banque mondiale, je sais pas, l'OADA, la CEDEAO, l'IMOA, pour les populations, ça ne parle pas. Ils ont vécu les règles de jeu, les États reconnus, des impôts, des budgets nationaux chaque année votés, des lois de finances votées, mais ils n'ont pas vu l'impact des dividendes. Quand vous posez la question à un orpailleur local, il se débrouille à dévier tous les dangers possibles. Et qu'à la fin, il parvient à sortir un demi-kilo d'or et que vous avez un Ukrainien, ou je ne sais pas, c'est un exemple que je donne, ou bien un Sahélien ou un Américain qui vient, qui devient djihadiste ou juif, ou de Hezbollah, ou de Fatah, ou de, je sais pas, de ce que vous voulez, du Kremlin, s'il apporte de la liquidité pour le payer en CFA, il y vend. C'est comme ça qu'il voit les choses. Hein. Pas, cherchez pas loin.
Guaranteeing the safety of these areas is far from easy. Jihadist groups sometimes fight with each other to control mining resources. To manage the miners' safety, the heads of the Azawad movement confided in us that they would like to apply a tax of about 5% flat rate on all workers' earnings. But the Tuareg representative does not know how much the jihadist groups charge.
Ce qui est possible, c'est que les groupes djihadistes, dans les zones qu'ils contrôlent, ou chez les populations sur lesquelles ils ont des influences, font payer des taxes. Et c'est souvent annuel. C'est une pratique musulmane, où quand vous avez, à la fin de l'année, un certain nombre de biens, il y a un calcul qui est fait sur la base de vos biens, vous payez un pourcentage. Et les djihadistes ou autres ne sont pas aussi des gens naïfs. Ce sont des gens qui sont intelligents, comme nous tous. Peut-être que chacun de nous peut avoir un jugement sur pourquoi ils font tout ça, mais ils analysent aussi les contextes politiques, les besoins économiques des populations. Et ils s'adaptent. même dans les façons d'être contraignants ou d'imposer des règles, ils sont de temps en temps mesurés parce que derrière tout ça, il y a une économie. Derrière tout ça, il y a des dividendes. Pas pour tous forcément, mais c'est des logiques de plus en plus développées.
In Mali, but also in Niger and Burkina Faso, armed groups have been seizing gold panning sites in areas where the government is weak or absent. They've been turning a profit for years. According to the OECD, more than 5 billion euros are reported to exit these three countries every year in the form of gold ingots, a sizable hemorrhage of lost profits for gold-producing countries. It is also a factor in locals' sense of insecurity. It can be seen by looking at this map of Burkina Faso. In black are wildcat gold mining sites. In red is the spread of jihadist groups over the last 3 years. The correlation is clear. The gold trade is carried out as much for the enrichment of the fighters as it is for the financing of armed groups. The anarchic mining of resources has stretched across the entire region due to the porous nature of the borders. Thousands of paths allow people to pass from one country to another. Many traffickers travel by motorcycle without ever being checked. At Bamako, not all of the sector's players are pleased. At the Kankamusa refinery, one of the capital's 2 industrial refineries, the boss is a bit worried. This Italo-Swiss businessman, who has been in the country for 20 years, has never been able to make his project viable. In 2014, he invested more than 6 million euros in this factory that melts pure gold ingots. He was hoping to corner the Malian market, as well as that of neighboring countries.
So maintenant, tu me montres la partie. D'un côté, on est très découragé, je vais dire la vérité. Dans la raffinerie, ni aujourd'hui, on n'arrive pas ni à 10% de notre capacité. Ouais.
While the smelting works of the city's central market operate at full capacity, this refinery does not receive enough primary resources for its brand new equipment. This company, which exports to Switzerland and the United States, is not appealing to local gold panners because no one wants to bend to the complex regulations of Western countries. Business is much easier in Dubai.
Voilà, ça fait 30 grammes, 0,29.
Que les 73 kilos que vous avez trouvés en Afrique du Sud fait rire. Et en Suisse, l'année passée, non, en 2019, ils ont pris 24 tonnes d'or provenant de Dubaï où l'origine n'est pas déclarée. Mais ils entraient en Suisse pour aller à les différentes raffineries LBMA. 24 tonnes, pas 73 kilos. Moi, j'aime pas trop Dubaï. Mais comme raffinerie, si nous voulons garantir nous un futur comme infrastructure avec un nom sain, je dois éviter Dubaï.
If Sky Gold's gold was headed towards Dubai, it was purely due to convenience. It is perfectly legal to carry ingots in one's luggage, and transporting gold in hand luggage is one of the best ways of importing illegal gold into the United Arab Emirates. Nicknamed the City of Gold, this megalopolis has established itself as a hub of the international gold trade. The main gold market, an unmissable stop for tourists, is in the historic neighborhood of Deira. Everything is shiny here. Even Iranian saffron is served in gold containers. Sky Gold's gold was headed to Dubai, to the company Papia, located in front of the Gold Center building. On a side street in a less touristy section of the historic district, Papia Gold is still in operation. We tried to contact the heads of the company several times, but they never responded. In 2018, the United Arab Emirates imported 50 tons of gold from Africa. In 2020, that figure was 500 tons. In 5 years, the Emirates multiplied its African imports tenfold. But buyers who come here are not concerned about the origin of this gold. The windows display Swiss ingots, and the sellers say that the gold is simply recycled in Dubai.
The gold is cheaper here. That's why there are a lot of people to buy here. We have so many shops because the gold is cheaper. This is we make here. But the gold it comes from we import from the Switzerland, from South Africa, from UK. We import the pure gold and then we manufacture here.
More than 4,000 businesses work in the gold market in Dubai. The tax system is advantageous because there are no taxes on businesses or on earnings. To wean itself off of dependence on oil and become a hub, the United Arab Emirates has divided itself into 45 free trade zones.
The next station is DMCC.
The DMCC, a business center for primary resources, was created in 2002. 68 towers over 200 hectares. It is the largest free trade zone in the United Arab Emirates. Neither the government nor officials at the DMCC agreed to meet with us, despite our best efforts. We turned to Mark Ummel, a Swiss researcher who for several years has been working to prove that dirty gold from conflict zones is being whitewashed in Dubai. His report examined about 50 African nations.
Les contrôles sont extrêmement laxistes à l'aéroport de Dubaï. C'est qu'aujourd'hui, si vous regardez les pays où il y a des zones de conflit, que ce soit la République démocratique du Congo, le Burkina Faso, le Mali, le Niger, le Soudan, l'or de ces pays finit toujours à Dubaï. Donc Dubaï, oui, c'est vraiment la machine à laver, entre guillemets, de l'or problématique africain issu trop souvent de zones de conflit.
No one knows exactly how many refineries are in operation in Dubai.
Certaines personnes nous disaient non, mais qu'est-ce que vous allez enquêter aux Émirats Arabes Unis, c'est de toute façon juste de l'or recyclé. Et le problème de l'or recyclé, c'est que ça englobe tout. Ça peut être de l'or des nazis, ça peut être de l'or issu d'un trésor de 200 ans, ou ça peut être de l'or qui était aux mains d'une mine d'un groupe djihadiste il y a à peine moins d'une semaine.
In 2019, a UN report criticized Dubai's leaders for their lack of action on illegal gold. 3 years later, the FATF, an international organization that fights against money laundering and funding terrorism, placed Dubai on its grey list. To silence its growing number of critics, the Emirati authorities promised to establish certificates of origin from January 2023. In South Africa, the trial of the Malagasy traffickers and Sky Gold is still underway. After 2 years of investigation, no one is able to determine exactly where the ingots came from. More than 40 million wildcat miners make a living with gold, much of it illegal. Trafficking is a problem for police the world over, because from Mali to Russia, gold is one of the preferred means of financing conflicts.